Hey, this is Andrew Brown. In this video, we're going to set up a storage gateway using File Gateway. So I'm going to go ahead and make a new gateway called My File Gateway. And what we're going to bridge is actually to an EC2 instance because all these other ones are pretty complex, but this one will be a great way for us to learn how to use File Gateway. We want to launch this into a VPC, into a subnet. I'm going to just be very explicit and do 1B so that my life is a little bit easier. We're going to need a key pair, so go over to EC2 Management Console, and we'll say my gateway key pair. I want a PEM. I prefer PEM because I always use OpenSSH and not PuTTY in particular. And so that file is now downloaded there. We'll go back over to here, give this a refresh, and we'll choose our key pair. We'll go next. You must launch the instance before moving to the next step. Fair enough. So we're going to launch that instance and we will wait here, okay? All right, so that is now created. We'll go ahead and hit next. Connection options. So we have IP address or activation key. Since we have an EC2 instance, it should be pretty easy for us to use IP address here. Service endpoint, we'll say it's publicly accessible. And we could enable FIPS, but I'm just going to go ahead and hit next. And for some reason, it is not. It's not proceeding forward for some reason. There we go. I had to click a few times. I have no idea why, but here we have our options. We'll go ahead and activate our gateway. Okay, we do have some CloudWatch options here. I'll leave that alone, and that is creating here. So we'll create a new log group. We'll make the recommended ones here. We'll go ahead and configure. There we go. And now I'm just waiting for everything to get running here, okay? I mean, it says it's running, but again, there's no alarm state stuff, but I could have swore it was still doing something here, so let's just go back here for a moment. Oh, maybe it is ready to go, but just give me a second, okay? All right, so I just did a bit of reading, and last time I used Storage Gateway, the whole process was a little bit different. But if we go over to our instance, I just want to show you here that notice that it has an additional drive that's attached. And this one is acting as our cache volume. So we didn't tell it how large it would be. It just made it 150 gigabytes. And the idea is that this gateway is supposed to act as something we'll connect to with NFS. So let's go back over to, here to the security groups. Because another thing is that we're going to have particular ports open. And it looks like it might have already done it. I think 2049 is for NFS. So look, you'll notice it opened up for NFS and SMB. So that is in good shape. The other thing we're going to need is a file share. So we'll go ahead and create one now. And so we'll choose our gateway. We'll choose NFS. And then we need a bucket. So we'll create a new bucket here. This will be our, we'll let it just randomly generate. There we go. The service is so much easier to use than last time. And access for NFS client, no access restrictions there. We'll go ahead and create this file share. Okay, and so now we have our file share. So I'm just carefully looking at this here. And so now we have our mountable examples down below. So, my thought process is that this IP address is our instance. So if we go over to here, I just want to confirm if that is true. 172.31.6.161. And it is. And so the idea is that maybe we can use NFS, right, to mount to this and then be able to work with files there. So that's what I'm thinking that we can do here. So just give me a second here. What we'll do is launch up another EC2 instance. Okay, we'll call this one, our work machines, like my work machine. And we'll go down below. We'll choose Amazon Linux 2023. I'm going to choose a T3 micro because that's what I prefer to use these days. I'm going to go all the way down to the ground. I'm going to go to advanced details. I'm going to choose SSM role, which we created in another video in our EC2 section. If you haven't done that, go do that. It's very straightforward. Or just look at what the basic requirements is to do Sessions Manager, which you even cover in their Cloud Partitioner. So there's no way people don't know this by now. We'll go over here. And we'll wait for that instance to launch, and then we'll connect to it, and then we'll see if we can establish an NFS connection. I believe that NFS functionality is part of Linux, so I don't think it'd be hard for us to hopefully establish that connection, okay? All right, so I think this might be running. Let's go take a look here. Our status checks are passed. Let's go ahead and establish our connection. And we'll go back over to here. And what I want to do is grab this line here or copy it. And we'll do sudo su-ec2 user. I mean, I think we'll have to create a mount directory first, right? Yeah, the mount path. So what I'm going to do is, where am I? PWD. I'm just going to call this one SGW. Storage gateway. I think that's the initialism. We'll go ahead and paste this in here. And so notice it's asking for the mount path. I'm going to just put in here home. Home /EC2 user SGW and see if that works. And so it failed. Just give me a moment, okay? Well, you know what? What if we try sudo? There we go. Okay, great. So now the question is, did this work? And the only way we're going to know is if we go into this directory, do ls-la, you'll notice that it has special highlighting there, so it must indicate something's going on here. I'm going to just say touch hello.txt. Okay, great. And so that has now occurred. So the question is it working? And the only way we're going to know is if we go over to S3. So we'll go over to S3 here, and we'll go into Storage Gateway, and I don't say anything. So now the question is, what happens if I was to drop a file in here? Would we see it from the other side? So just give me a moment to get a file, any kind of file. Here's a file. It's like a dog dunking a basketball or something. I don't know. And we'll drag that into here. Okay, and then we'll go back over to here. And we'll type in ls. And so I don't see anything. So just give me a second, okay? We'll see what's next. The one thing I am noticing is that the status isn't updating, so I'm wondering if this was actually even completed. So now it says it's available. Okay. Let me go back over here, ls. No, I don't see anything in here. We'll go back over to S3. So hello is showing up. Okay, that's good. ls. And we'll go back into here. Great. And so the hello is there. I can say touch goodbye txt. We'll refresh this. We'll just give it a moment, okay? All right, so I just waited a little while and then it showed up here. So that makes sense here. Okay, but just notice that the direction is from our storage here and being backed up to S3. So just understand the direction that it's going in. Apparently, we can check our CloudWatch logs to have an idea of when things are uploading. But just understand there is a bit of a delay, and I think that kind of showcases the use case here for file gateway. So I think we're all done here. So I'm going to go ahead and just tear this down. So we'll say terminate my work machine here. Excellent. And then we'll go over to Storage Gateway. And I think we'll have to tear down the file share first. Okay. I don't use this service very often. I think I've set it up only once for a customer, and even now it's just like, it looks like gobbledygook to me. But, we did the most basic thing we had to do to get this to work. We'll stop the gateway. Please power off the virtual machine. Okay. Can we just terminate it? Terminate. Terminate. Did it have protection on it? I'm not sure if it did. Just check the details here. Disabled. Okay, so that can terminate. And we'll go back over to here. Let's see if I can terminate this now or delete this. Okay, just education here. So now that gateway is destroyed, that file share is destroyed. We can close this out. We'll make our way over to S3 and we'll just get rid of those files we created in that bucket, because I have enough buckets as it is. We'll go back here and we'll just say empty. And we'll just empty that. And I'll go back to bucket here. And we'll delete this. And we'll do this. There we go. And I think everything's gone. So yeah, we are in good shape here. I don't think there's anything else that might be missing. But yeah, that is File Gateway. Okay.